but I am now recording. So, Hunter again saves the day. We have some interesting bits for today, and the first one is our group from social is going to actually give us a presentation today. That's correct, right?
Right. And actually, can I share my screen?
I am hoping that you will share your screen. If you start sharing, I will get it configured. Just give me a second before you start actually working, so that I get everything set up.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Are you sharing yet?
I'm not, but
Okay.
I can share right now.
Whenever you are ready to share, pour out your heart.
Okay. Here we go. Can you guys see anything?
Yeah, I think I'm seeing two screens. I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah, I need to figure this out for just a second. Okay, so what is going on here? That should be socialpitch.movie. Is that the one you want shown?
Right.
Okay, so this one can move. The problem is I can't actually see. RPI did a great thing. They replaced all of the computers in all of these rooms, but when they did, they took away the monitor. So we can't see what's actually happening in the room. I have to look over my shoulder or across the room at one of the other televisions, and quite honestly, I'm not that good. My eyesight isn't that good to get the little mouse cursor. All right, and X's and everything. Okay, so you have a completely blank screen right now, but you are the only person on it.
All right, looks fine to me.
Yeah, I can see what looks to be like a YouTube video that says socialpitch.mov.
Yeah, but it's not showing anything, right?
Not yet.
Okay, excellent. You are set to go, I think.
I think it's safe to assume that you probably don't know everyone in your grade.
And if you do, you probably wouldn't have clicked on this link. Join social for free to make more friends, find study buddies, or just meet someone new.
Play cool games that were designed and created by RPI students.
Join to get entered into our raffles for prizes like gift cards to local cafes.
So stop wasting time. Get out and get social. Get out and get social.
Awesome. So this is basically our pitch video. And then, like, what is said in the video, we're here to kind of advertise for our beta test. And again, hello everyone, and we are TT Social, and we just kind of won the 10K First Voices Studio Inventors Award, and also plus we now have the 10K Amazon Web Services, so that's something very awesome for the developers. And also, just in general, social is like a game-like system that's going to help integrate new members into a community. And we collaborate with a lot of RPI administrators like Student Success, Student Life, and other departments to kind of help to develop an AI-powered platform for friend-making, especially for the income freshmen. And we are here today just to demonstrate the cool video. Plus, we are recruiting people for the beta test, which is July the 10th and 11th this weekend.
Yeah, and for the beta test, I should probably also just show myself. Hello everyone, my name is Kong. I'm a team lead for social as well. And the beta test that we're gonna have, we're aiming to have about around 30 people. And currently we already have worked with Student Life and people to recruited moderators. And our goal is to examine whether our platform, it's like a game, can run successfully with the Amazon Web Service server. And so we really want to have like experienced, not really a testing people, but those who have ideas or expectations to join our beta test, hopefully offering us their feelings, ideas, so that we can prepare this app and have it ready this fall for the incoming freshman student. Are there anything you want to add on?
So just let me re-show the poster again, and then, so basically this is our poster, and if you are interested, please fill this interest form, and I'm just going to send it in the chat right now. By the way, this is just the interest form. You're not going to sign up like right now, but so. And if there's any questions, we are here to answer. Otherwise, I think that's the thing we want to talk about.
Oh yeah, sorry, I saw the question. Yeah, it is a virtual event, so you don't have to be on campus. What we will do is we will send you instructions throughout the link and virtually. And once you register, we will give you more instructions. And it's gonna probably take you within 2 hours, it should be done. And yeah, our goal is to test again the performance of the platform. Oh, by the way, almost forgot. We do have award, so we are currently collaborating with some downtown Troy vendors like Whistle and Kittle, Bard and Baker. I think we're also collaborating with. They have a gift card, and I think it's not like a $1 or $2 or $5. It's like a $10 gift card that they're offering. So if you participate, you have a chance of winning the gift card that we got.
So just try, enjoy, and if you don't get the gift card, you are going to meet new people, which is also awesome.
All right. Anything else, guys? All right. So just to reiterate, this is Social has won a couple of awards at RPI. They didn't originate at RCOS, but they've been working at RCOS or with RCOS for 3 semesters now? 4 semesters, right? This is your 4th, I think?
Counting, I think 3. This is our 3rd.
3? Okay. So they've been with us a while. They've been building a platform to allow you guys. I just had a complaint this afternoon that somebody signed up for 3-on-3 soccer and didn't get 6 people. So, you know, if this is a way, if you don't like soccer, you want to sit down and communicate, it's a way to kind of get together, make some friends, learn some stuff. So, yeah. If you guys, you posted it into the chat. I don't know if you want to post it into the Discord as well. It's kind of up to you which way you want to go. I don't know. You know, there are almost 40 people between online and in classroom today. So.
Yeah, we'll take that suggestion. I think
Yeah.
you think we should. Which channel should we put it?
I would post it into either opportunities or announcements or both.
Sounds good.
Just, you know, for the heck of it. But it is up to you. You know, I'm not going to.
No, that's a good suggestion. Thank you.
You're welcome. And now let me see if I can get my screen back. I think it's this one. When we're doing presentations, I get pretty good at this. But it's not necessarily the case that I'm good at this all the time. All right, that looks like it's back. By the way, you guys should know that because we have to do all of this online, I'm bulking up. I'm carrying about 50 pounds of weight on my backpack every day to get here. Have to have 2 computers, a microphone, my lunch. My lunch is kind of heavy. Anyway, so So there we are. We got a couple, that was one of the interesting tidbits. We've got a couple others. There's a hackathon that was announced by the Severino Center on Polar Vortex Hacking the Arctic. That's coming up on July 9th. It starts on July 19th. It looks like it runs for several weeks through to August 5th. So I assume it, so it is a virtual online thing, hackathon. You know, it's kind of cool. One thing if you participate in a hackathon in general, particularly if you make it open source, we will actually count that as attendance at a bonus session. Now, oops, that was not good. What did I do? Apparently I hit the Iconify button, or save all the or just show the background button. So now I have nothing up. All right, we're good. So this is generally something we do. We'll do it on this. If you participate in the hackathon, let us know, and we will give you credit for a bonus session. What else do we have on? And there's, if you need it, there's the QR code. I'll leave it up there for just a second. This looks like fun. Hopefully, if you had a bunch of first session summer classes and you're now looking to pick up a little extra work, this will take you through to August 5th, keep you from being bored, keep you out of trouble.
Professor Turner?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I do believe that I do not have permission to send message in the opportunities.
Okay, if you why don't you post it into summer 2021, and assuming I remember, I will also repost it into opportunities. I wonder what happened.
Okay, sounds good.
You should have.
Or
I thought you had. I thought we were giving people permission to post there. But if you just put it in summer 2021, I'll make sure it gets put there.
thank you.
Although you may have to, if it's not there in a day, remind me. Sometimes I get, we have meet your professor meetings right after this, and sometimes things get a little tight. All right, this other thing crossed my desk. As you hopefully know, RCOS is an affiliate member of the OSI, the Open Source Initiative. The Open Source Initiative advocates for open source software. One of their major ways of advocating is they approve open source and approve open source licenses. Anybody can write a license. Open source licenses have to abide by the 10 rules of open source. And if you're not a lawyer, looking at them to see where the loopholes are and whether they actually abide by them is relatively difficult. So what we require you to do, as we kind of mentioned in the licensing workshop, is we require that you use an OSI license, an OSI approved license. The process is open. Anybody can submit a license to them, and it can be debated, and they will certify or not certify or ask for changes, etc. They just approved 4 new ones. The cryptographic autonomy license is useful in that it helps when you're doing cryptographic services. It requires that people have rights to use, for example, the keys that are necessary to launch the service. You can't withhold it from somebody else. Otherwise, if you're trying to trade keys and you're not willing to cooperate, things go bad fast. So, in order to have a truly open cryptographic system, you have to be required to share some information beyond just the source code. And I believe that's primarily what the cryptographic autonomy license talks about. That may be of interest to some of you. It's kind of a niche case. They always, when the OSI is evaluating licenses, they're always evaluating to make sure that it actually is substantively different from any license they already have, because otherwise there'd end up being thousands of licenses out there, and that's just confusion. I think that I've probably only used 6 licenses frequently in my life, just because I like MIT and BSD. Apache isn't very far from that and provides some patent permissions. And then you have the GPL family that you have to deal with when you're working with code. I've probably used a Mozilla as well, so there's probably about 7 that I've actually had significant personal experience with, and there are hundreds, right? So be careful with that. The interesting one though is the CERN. You know what CERN is, right? They're the big collider. Yeah, I'm doing the little circle thing. I got people in the classroom doing the little circle thing. They're the collider in Europe. OSI has been against hardware licenses for quite some time. They haven't approved hardware licenses. They've laid the claim that their purview is source code, source. And they've finally been convinced that as things get closer and closer, as hardware and software kind of become more intricately involved in a lot of systems, they've been convinced by CERN that they actually need open source license. So there are 3 open source licenses that apply to hardware that have just been released, and kind of paralleling copyleft, permissive, and weak copyleft. They put out a permissive license, a weak reciprocal license, and a strong reciprocal license. So if you are doing hardware projects, this is kind of a boost for you. What we've kind of said is that you can publish your documents in your source code repository and license them. Typically, documents would actually be licensed or have a Creative Commons applied as opposed to a real software license. But now this is kind of an out for you. You can use one of these CERN permissive licenses and actually be a little bit, more precise. Just if you want to look at any of those, these are the QR codes. I'll leave these up here for just a second. But that was kind of an interesting thing to me. It's something that I've been kind of watching for a while because, we do have projects here that span. We've had a homebrew monitoring system. We've had a plant watering system that was largely hardware. Automatic door control has a lot of hardware components to it. We've had a project to detect cell phone activity as an anti-cheating measure. It almost got us in trouble with the student services anti-spying kind of thing. But they weren't actually, I wasn't doing it. They weren't actually looking at the traffic. They were just looking at the carrier signal. So anyway, this is kind of, I think it's long overdue, and I think it's very useful. And I think Patrick Masson, who gives a presentation to us on licensing, is going to have to revise some of his slides based on actually having hardware licenses now. We still have the RCOS merch. If you're out there, again, we don't make money off this. This is just if you want to, do a public spirit support. And kind of on that note, this time I'm going to get to the prize for being here today. So a few years ago, and hopefully some of our IBM people are on, IBM did a call, commit to the cause. They help with call for the call for code hackathons. Some of our projects are derived directly from those. Some of the IBM projects. It runs every year. There was one going on now. I announced it a few weeks ago. A few years ago, they actually held a real hackathon in person, live here at RPI. And when I went to my office, I found out that I had a whole box of shirts left over. So I think that they are mainly larges, although I'm not exactly sure. But if anybody's here and wants to grab a shirt, please come up and grab an IBM shirt, call for code. You're welcome to do it now or at the end of class. And for those of you who are missing it, of course I didn't actually push that out, did I? Let me hold up the shirt again. They're kind of nice shirts. My kids took mine, and they say it's one of the more comfortable shirts they have. Looks like this: commit to the cause, push for change, answer the call Call for Code, and callforcode.org. All of these are still applicable to the current incarnation. I will do this a couple of times this semester, probably not every time, but you're welcome, you know, it's just a little bonus for actually showing up at some point. And if you are not on campus at all this semester and you stop by my office in the fall, I might be convinced. You'll have to give me a good story, but I might be convinced. All right. Where are we? Just the normal stuff, syllabus, office hours. Your rainbow grades are up to date through yesterday. I ran them yesterday. I believe this includes the React and the Redis workshops, and it also includes the first status update. You have until midnight tonight to fix any of the previous grades from last week and earlier, or from last week. Yeah, 624. If you believe any of your grades are correct, after 7/1, after today, this current, or I guess after last night, I'll give you till tonight to contact me. I should probably mention that today is add drop day. So if you are thinking about, last day to drop. So if you are thinking about dropping this course, please do it today. You've gotten, you have all the information that I have, so you know where you stand at least now. I will say that we've only had about 10 points out of the 100 points have been given to you so far. 65% of your grade is going to come in the presentation and in your final commits. So there's a lot of points out there. You're not in any trouble so far. Yeah, you have a question?
Is this also the day where you can change how many credits a class
So the question is this the last day to change credits? I don't know how, because I think you have to drop and then re-add. But if you talk to Professor Goldschmidt or contact Professor Goldschmidt by email, he handles that administrative kind of stuff, and he can do magic. Yeah. He's really good at helping RCOS get through, because seriously, just dropping down credits would be actually a drop and a late add. So we can do that. If you've been participating, we can certainly do a late add for you. And he's kind of the guy that makes that smooth. All right, so yeah, that's kind of where we stand. Valuable, our projects are all out there. Please make sure your project is there, but I'm not going to go into that. And we are sitting right at the cusp of July 2nd break, right in the middle of the semester. That's about as close to the middle as I could eyeball that. I will admit that I didn't use any tools to get that in the center. All right, we had a workshop. We had 2 workshops on Wednesday. We had a React.js one at 2, and we had a Redis and NASFAC at 7:30. I believe that both of those are available. They've both been done. I believe that both of them are available in recording. So please go out and check them out. It's good for you to see as many of these as possible. This is kind of one of the ways that you guys can explore different technologies, and I think they're awfully fun to have. On 7/13, Alice is going to do a workshop on Resume 101. That's by popular demand. She was going to do weird math, and maybe we can still convince her to do that at a later date. But 7/13 is going to be Resume 101, and that's the last one I have on the schedule so far. So if you're a mentor and you want to get yours in, I think we may be 1 or 2 shy. But if you're a mentor and you want to get one in, let me know. If you're not a mentor and you want to do one, please let us know as well. There's a lot of interesting topics out there, and we always welcome people talking to us. And quite honestly, at the end of the semester, everybody's going to be looking for one. So if we get a couple in August, that would be great. All right, again, today is drop day. I talked about this already. If if you look at your proposals, right, you go into submitting. Right, you should be able to come in here and look at would have helped if I would have submitted something. But if you come to this page, you should be able to go in. Did I not submit a proposal either? No. You should be able to come in here anyway and see your grade, and you should be able to get comments. You know, I think it says view grade or something like that. I think that most of you have done it. Same with the status updates. Those are the two things that you have to be most concerned about. Attendance, there's really not, you know, it's either yes or no. It'll show up, make sure you check it. But if you go into your status updates and you go into your proposal, you'll find that we've left some comments in general. So, you know, don't keep making the same mistake over and over again. If we wrote you a comment, we expect that the next time you're going to do it better. So just make sure you check those out. We haven't really been looking at your open source submissions other than to make sure that you're putting something, or at least have that block in your status updates. It's important that, you know, this is early in the semester, or it's the midpoint of the semester. We really do want you to be in a position of starting to incrementally commit as you go along. So please start doing that. We're going to be asking you for some preliminary sets of what you've done, just so we can give you feedback. We'll probably wait until about 2 weeks after break, and then kind of get into that in the last, you know, after 2/3 of the course is over. So, you know, keep that in mind. Commit early, commit often. If you're in a situation where you don't know how what you're doing can be put out as an open source contribution, please talk to us. You know, we get this every semester. We've done this. You know, if you're doing an investigational thing, there are strategies we can do. If you're having problems pushing to your primary repository because it's an external project and we don't have control of that, that's fine. That's how projects are run. But you should have a private fork, and you can push to your fork, and we count those just as well. So, you know, if you're having issues, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're confused, come and talk to us, and we will get it all worked out. And with that in mind, your third status update is due today. We do drop 3, so technically you could go and not do this one and not have done the previous 2 and still be fine. But it's probably a good idea to start getting your status updates done. We're not, you know, they're not difficult. They're a page. It should take you less than a half an hour to do. And that will help us figure out where you are and if you need any help. We're finishing up the professor project meetings today, hopefully. We have a whole bunch of them set up starting in 15 minutes. So you can tell that this will be done in 15 minutes or less. If you're not signed up, if you haven't talked to us and you're not going to talk to us by the end of today, you know, please contact us outside, and we will, outside of this meeting, we'll try to figure out what to do about it. But we are hoping to kind of finish this up. Okay, and just to belabor the point and make it yet one more time, your open source contributions can be code commits. They don't have to be code commits. They can be to your fork. They can be to the main repo for your pull request. You know, we accept all of those as valid commits. They can be documentation commits. They don't have to be code. Again, that can be to your fork. It can be to the main repo. It can be to a wiki page. It can be to a documentation setup. Don't use Google Docs for documentation commits, right? Google Docs, we want something that travels with the project. So it's good to write them in Google Docs and then commit them when you're done or something. You know, Google Docs are a good way to collaborate. They're not a good way to document a project, because the project and the repository and the documentation don't live in the same place, and forcing somebody to look around for documentation is not necessarily all that useful. I've had a lot of problems with that in the past. You can also contribute issues, either finding issues, categorizing issues, reproducing issues, or fixing issues. And then again, you can do wikis, GitHub and GitLab both allow you to create a wiki right with your project that travels with your project. So that's a really good way to do documentation. Any questions? Professor Makis, anything you want to add? Did I miss anything?
I don't believe so.
Hunter? All good. And I think Nia is away, enjoying some well-deserved rest. Or not resting at all. I don't know. Anyway, attendance, this is the venue site. Give me a second and I will bring up, as well as the venue site, this top secret check-in code. There we go. Okay, so there's the venue site and the check-in code. And that's all we have for you today. I will upload these. Hopefully you're getting this. Any questions? Anything?
I have a personal question.
Okay, is it something that you want to go offline with, or you want to just ask it?
I mean, I guess I could ask now. I had a meeting scheduled for today. I believe at like 4:30, I think.
Okay.
I was hoping to reschedule because right now I'm at a place where I'm near a code commit, and if I can get this done within like the next 3 days, I'll be well ahead of schedule in my project proposal. So I was hoping to talk to you guys after that point to see where I am to get more guidance from you guys.
So we're happy to talk to you. Yeah, we're happy to talk to you afterwards. But why don't we talk a little bit today, just to make sure that everything's on the straight and narrow, and everything's going good. And then and then we can, if you want to talk after that and get additional guidance, that's fine as well. This isn't the talk today isn't necessarily to berate you for where you are. It's just to answer questions and make sure that everything's on, that everything's going smoothly. If you're in a position where you're a few days away from a commit, then you are ahead of schedule, and that's actually something we want to hear. It makes us feel better. So it can be a very quick meeting today, but let's just quickly talk and make sure that
Sure.
if that's okay with you.
Yeah, no, totally.
But again, we're really happy to talk to you at a later date as well.
Okay, I just didn't know that was, I guess, an option really, that I can just ask you to meet whenever. So
Yeah, I think that's how we've been ending every talk, right, Professor Makis?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
all right. Thank you.
excellent. Very good question, by the way. Those are the types of questions we like to hear. All right. Alice gives a shout out to the venue team. Excellent. So I assume that's something that I never see, if I'm not mistaken. All right. If there's nothing else, why don't you guys come up and grab a shirt if you want it. You don't have to. It's not required. If you didn't make it today, like I said, I'll probably do this again. I've got a lot of shirts, and I'm finding other things in my office as well that I forgot about. You may have to pick a large. There's also some in the box down there if you want to hunt. All right, and I'm going to shut down the recording, and we will